Alright. People wanted me to watch a video about, Xeno's view on control configurations. So we'll watch this. We'll see what he has to say. So I feel like I'm gonna disagree, but we will see.
So sometimes people will watch the stream and they'll ask, how the fuck did you do that? So this is the biggest thing. Now, what exactly is it that I'm doing? I'm not looking at the target and I'm continuously attacking. And another thing that you can do with Legacy is you can do this with one button. People like this, all right? People see this and people ask, how are you able to do that?
Okay, I mean...
Let's try to do exactly what I did on standard. Okay, this is obviously fucking horrible, right? Like, you can't do this. This is undoable. Okay, so this is obviously bad. Now, this is standard. I'm holding left, but I'm going right. I'm holding left, but I'm going down to the right.
Just use your mouse, dude. That's the whole point. I don't really understand this argument. Like, above all, this is a really subjective debate. If you prefer Legacy and you get on better with Legacy, then use Legacy. If you like Standard, if you prefer Standard, if you're more comfortable with Standard, use Standard. Right? It's not that you can't say one is objectively better than the other. Like, so far I see his point. But it's so much about a comfort thing, and Standard is just about using your mouse. Instead of, like, exclusively your keys, essentially. That's basically the only difference so far. So if you're more comfortable with one or the other, then that's gonna be the easiest style for you.
Control scheme doesn't work for standard. Enable for it to work for standard, I would have to hold down both of my mouse buttons. But the thing is, to do this, what I'm doing now, here's the amount of buttons I'm holding. I'm holding A, S, and D, and both my left and right mouse buttons. That's 5 buttons, and I can't back up. Now, this is on standard, and another thing about standard is when I hit S, my character backs up like this. Okay, there is no fast way to turn around without flipping my camera. I have to do this. So those are the differences. I feel like the people that use standard...
It's worth mentioning, you can literally just, like, you can sidestep like that and still see what you're doing. Like, it's not, like, impossible. Like, it's... You know, again, you know, I'm not coming at this from a combative point of view because, you know, he prefers Legacy. That's great. But as someone who prefers Standard, like, I can't get behind the idea of me switching to Legacy, and I wouldn't encourage people to switch to Legacy or even switch to Standard because, like, if they're on Legacy, because, like, it's just going to be more uncomfortable for them. Unless you're new to an MMO and... you don't really know what's going to work for you, and you're trying out both, then something like this becomes more helpful, because for a newer player who's not ever really gotten used to a particular style, wanting to look at both might be nice. But, like, if you've come from a background where you've always used one particular one, then you're probably going to want to stick to that. As for the backwalking thing, like, yeah, okay, you can't backstep all too well. But there also isn't many situations where you want to just, like, backstep a bit. Or, like, a lot, even. Like, at that point, I'm turning my mouse and I'm walking away. I'm not pressing my backstep anyway.
They're just used to it. This is just how I have my settings. I use Legacy, and then this apparently is fucking huge. Move left and move right. You don't need these. Move left and move right and turn left and turn right should not even be in the game. Let me show you why. When you hit move left, your camera moves and your character turns, okay? And your camera moves. This is bad. The biggest advantage to Legacy, though, is when you want to move back like this, all you have to do is hit S. That's literally it. Literally it. If you want to stagger step,
that's fair, Fountain,
which doesn't happen very often, but if you do, then you can hit A and D with S. Or wait, hold on. Sorry. This is another reason why you never want to move left and move right, is because your A and D, when you're on Legacy, you can't do this. A lot of this is just based on personal preference, but the reason why I want to talk about it and I want to kind of just point out some stuff is because a lot of people don't know that Legacy is super fucking good. And those of you used to Standard, I would suggest switching to Legacy because Legacy is better in a lot of ways. Hold right button strummer.
I don't know, man. Like, big Legacy fan, got it. Yes, it definitely has its perks, like 100%. But then so does Standard. Like, Standard, just having free control of your camera like this, okay, it turns your character. But when you just, like, when you're holding right mouse button and sidestepping, like, it's basically the same thing as strafing. Like, maybe I just don't notice because, like, I've been used to Standard for so long. And that, like, you know, the difficulties of Standard are just kind of lost on me. Like, I'm willing to accept that 100%. Like, for me, like, doing this and then, like, wanting to go back like that, like, it's just normal for me. I know it looks kind of jarring to look at, but, like, this is pretty normal for me. But otherwise, it's really just a comfort thing. And, like, he even says that, and that's fine, you know. You know, he's at least right about Legacy. It's just... Like, the one problem I will, like, admit to having is if, like, I'm sprinting away from something and, like, auto-face targeting happens and, you know, I get dragged back. Like, yeah, that's fucking annoying, 100%. But I just learned to deal with it rather than learning an entirely new, different, like, control set. I just got used to it. And yeah, you can do the mouse shake thing as well. That is true. If there was ever a time I was unable to do something due to not using Legacy, then maybe yes. Yeah, like, it really just comes down to, like, what you've gotten used to and what kind of works for you. Baiting moves direction for a split second. Yeah, like, baiting and stuff, like, you may notice it happening to me and you, Cobb, as well. Like, it has happened. Or, like, you know, my baits might be a little bit off because, like, I'm changing direction a bit. Like, I fully admit, like, yes, but at the same time, I'm just so used to it, it's not a problem for me. Like, again, it just comes down to the fact that I've put up with it and dealt with it, and I've learned how to just not care about it. I just find Standard easy as a result.
Then you have to don't change your A and D. No, you want to change your A and D. I'll tell you why you want to change your A and D. You never want to have this right here. There is not a single advantage to having this. I'll explain why the turn left and turn right should not even be in the game. You need to re-keybind that immediately. Because when you have turn left and turn right, watch what your character does. Look, your character is constantly facing the target. This is awful. You don't want this because this is going to get you hit by gaze mechanics. There's no reason to ever have that. You want to have strafe left and strafe right on.
I kind of disagree. Like, it's not hard to just look away for a split second. You know, if you really want a full brain dead it, sure. But otherwise, I feel like you can just look away. Like, we can take Shiva's gaze mirrors as an example. Like, I never had a problem with these mirrors. So many people, every single PF ever, had a problem with these fucking mirrors. But I never had a problem with it because I just, like, I realized you can fit 2 GCDs between each one and you just look away. You just flick away, then look back again. So, like, you know, myself and Xeno in this case clearly just, like, built differently and like having different conveniences.
At all times. Look at my character. I'm never looking at my enemy. You don't have to look at your enemy to improve your mitigation. You don't have to look at your enemy to auto attack. They took all that away. They made it easy. Now, the reason why you want to do this, for mechanics where you have to look away, you don't actually have to stop attacking. You can just keep holding like left and right, and you can do this. You don't even have to hold down.
He is still auto attacking, by the way. Just saying. So that is kind of wrong.
down right mouse if you don't want to. Now me, I'm the type
You
of
can
player
even
where,
see the
I
numbers.
always hold down right click, but I know some people don't do that. And again, I'm not the player that moves with their mouse either. I move with WASD. I don't think moving with your mouse is very good. I think it's bad. I would never move with my mouse, and the reason why is because when you move with your mouse, you're always moving forward. You're always moving in the direction of your camera. I think that's bad because sometimes you don't want to do that. It's very restricting. Now, can you do it? Yeah, sure, you can. I can't speak for controller. This is just mouse and keyboard shit. Now, if you think that the things that I do are stupid, that's fine. They might be stupid for you. But if you are at all interested in this, I highly suggest you try this. For some reason, this has been brought up too. Some people like to back up like an intercardinal way. So instead of just backing straight up like this, some people like to back up like that. Well, you can do that fine. You just hit S in the direction that you want to go. So S for down, you know, and then A for left and D to the right. Now, I don't know why you would ever want to back up in this manner. Like, I've played this game for like 8 fucking years, and I've never thought to myself, I want to back up in this manner. Some of you might think to yourself, well, I do this in WoW. Oh, well, I do this in WoW. This isn't WoW. So all of that WoW information, get it the fuck out of your head. This is a completely different game. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck how you move in WoW. I played WoW. I thought the movement in it was trash. I thought the game was fucking trash. It doesn't matter. This is a different game. I don't care if you did it for 15 years in WoW. It doesn't matter. You're playing a new.
This is kind of true. Like, at the same, you know, I did mention earlier about, you know, if you've gotten used to something in an MMO, you should still at least try it in the next MMO you play and see if it still feels comfortable. But like, he is kind of right. Like, you can't rely on it too much. Just for me, like, the standard control scheme has always worked for me in any game. So like, I just wholeheartedly prefer it. Do streamer stuff and fill the party. I want a night early. Well, if it doesn't fill in like good time, I need to go as well. So we'll see what happens.
Game now. You're playing a better game now. Good for you. I understand that the movement of standard is very similar to WoW, which is why people stick with it.
Yes.
But I'm telling
That's
you
where
this
I came
because
from
this is
well.
a different method to control and move your character. That's the only reason why I'm bringing it up. You don't have to use any of this. This is just simply an alternative to what you are using, because some of the stuff that I hear people say, they just don't know that you can do different things in this game. That's why I want to bring all this shit up. For the people that use standard, I mean, I highly recommend you try Legacy. You might like it. You have no control over your fucking camera. You might think that you do, but you don't. But Strummer, just hold down your... Okay, great. So now I'm holding down 5 fucking keys to accomplish the same thing I was doing with Legacy, but I'm holding down with 2.
Yeah, but do you ever need to look away for that long?
You're just on copium. You're 5 keys versus Legacy's 2. Actually 1, because you don't have to hold down your right mouse.
When do you ever have to look away for that long, though? I don't get it. Like, you don't ever have to look away for that long. What? Lasers? I mean, like... You still don't have to look away for that long. Like, you're hitting a cloud in that time. So, like, you're still doing something. And if you weren't, you would just be hitting the boss. And then once again, you just flick away like that. The lasers is not like a continuous thing. Yeah, right mouse button, which is, it's also 1 key. Like... Maybe from like an optimization standpoint, like maybe this is better. I have no idea. I'm never gonna claim to be like the most optimized player in the world. It's that would be lying. And like I definitely see his points here, but these points apply if you find Legacy is better. But if you don't like Legacy, there's no point forcing yourself to use Legacy.
So it's 5 keys versus 1. Yeah, sure, it might work for you. It might work, but have you ever thought it could be easier? If you're used to holding down 5 keys to look away from your target, God forbid you have to move. That's the thing. You have to wiggle your mouse to keep turned. Okay, that's fine. So you really think that this is this is okay? You think that this is okay? You think doing this is okay? Like, you're fucking stupid. Why would you ever think that that is better than this? Look at this. This is so smooth. This is so fucking smooth. And you wonder why you get hit by every AoE. You wonder why you're so fucking trash at this game. It's because of your control scheme.
Dude,
Look at this!
I love the way he says stuff. It's funny.
Literally 2 buttons, man. 2 fucking buttons, man. It doesn't get any easier. That's not opinion. That's just fact. It's just fact. On Legacy,
I might not agree with him, but like, I can appreciate how he says it. It's fucking funny.
The reason why that so many players like Standard is simply because they're used to it. Now, obviously, look, man, you're gonna play the way you're gonna play. Look, I don't give a fuck how you play, okay? If I join a party with you and you die to an AoE, it's fine, dude. I don't care. I don't give a shit. But when you ask yourself, why am I so bad? Why do I keep getting hit by this fucking bullshit? Why does all this happen to me? Why is every party I'm in fucking trash? Well, you know what? You're in every party. And your controls are also in every party. And maybe, just maybe, it might be because of your controls. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is just to think for 5 minutes and reflect. And be like, you know what? Maybe holding 5 buttons and standing in place to avoid a gaze mechanic is a little bit harder than simply hitting 1 button. Yeah, one more time. This is my setup. I have Legacy, automatically face target when you attack. And then the only...
Like, turning face targeting off is so bad. I remember we tried that in E7S prog. For, the fucking... Away with Thee. That's the one. For that, and it was horrible. Like, you have to face dead center of the boss, so your fucking GCD just doesn't happen. Like, that felt so bad. So yeah, like, don't turn that off. Like, it might sound great, but it's bad. Don't. Same time as I do. Tavi, no. Behave yourself.
other thing I do is try strafe left and strafe right. That's it.
I haven't tried that. I could try that.
All right, let's say you need to look away.
To be fair,
all right,
I
there
could
you go.
try that.
You're looking away.
Try.
You're looking away. We're looking away. Let's say you want to greed forward, but you still need to look away. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, strafing seems to make sense. I think I might try that.
We're still looking away the whole time. We're not peeping. In Final Fantasy, there are many options on how you can do different stuff. And that's all this video is supposed to be about, is just to show you that there's other options, and you can take those options and you can like them or you cannot like them. It's completely fine. But I do think that you should consider some of them. If you have ever thought that there was an AoE hard to get out of, I promise you that if you change your keybinds to this, there will never be another AoE hard to get out of. I promise you.
I mean, I think this is probably aimed at more beginner players, because a lot of us aren't going to struggle to walk out of AoEs. Like, let's be honest. But, like, you know, it's a good video. Like, he has a good argument. Like, you know, again, for those looking for that kind of style, Legacy's going to be great. I just think that if you're used to Standard and you enjoy playing on Standard, there's just no reason to switch. Unless you really think that it's going to be of benefit to you, or after a while of using it, you think, yeah, this is better, which, you know, that happens. But ultimately, I think it's just very down to personal preference. I don't think he's so much misinformed. I think he's just, like I am, about Standard. He's biased towards Legacy. Like, that's literally the end of it, and that's perfectly fine. What Zeph says is sort of true. Like, you know, the turning to get out of stuff is, like... Yeah, like, you know, that's the point where Legacy, you know, might have a leg up, but once again, if you're fucking used to it, it doesn't matter. Because you will most likely get better at the game via that method. But, yeah, I don't know. He's biased, so we win the argument. No, I mean, it's not meant to be an argument. I was just interested to see, because and I'm like, people wanted me to watch this as someone who plays on Standard a lot. And, yeah, I mean. But, yeah. Not a bad video. It's possible that someone in chat asked him a silly question. Yeah, maybe. Alright, hang on. I will... Wait. Wait, mouse 5? What the fuck is mouse 5? What is this? Oh, wait. What the fuck? I don't know how to, I don't know how do you remove stuff, chat? Mouse 5 is wheel clicky. I think it's my wheel clicking to either side. Right click? No. It's not right click. Anyway. Alright, let's have a look at this. Yeah, I mean, like, this might actually be better. Yeah. The problem is, like, it might fuck with my camera a bit. I know, maybe I'll try it for a bit and see what happens. But this might actually be better. 5 mouse wheels to click and 2 buttons to scroll. Oh, there's side buttons? Wait. What side? Oh, it might be my DPI buttons, actually. Like, my mouse wheel can click to either side, and I have the DPI buttons behind it. It might be one of them. Yeah, this is where the problem is. Like, it's gonna fuck my movement. Like, standard with strafe feels weird. Strafe is definitely a legacy thing. I'd take that off just for now. But I might give it a try at some point. What am I doing? Wrong menu.